Hey everybody, welcome to Live Coding with Jesse. This is Jesse, and today we're going to work on routing and maybe bringing over some data. And we're going to start out with figuring out a solution to a feature that I know that we've needed for a long time. I've just kind of been doing other things. So figure, why not try it today? I have an idea of how to make it work, but I haven't tested it yet. So we'll work on that together. I'd like to get at least one Pomodoro session in today, and then maybe another one, or maybe we'll just go right to questions. It depends on whether or not we figure this out. So I already put in 4 Pomodoro sessions of just data migration. So my brain is ready to switch it up a little bit and work on this. So let me wait. There we are. I had to wait a second for the analytics data to update. It was showing I had 0 viewers, which I know wasn't true because some of you were waiting before the stream even started. Alright, just a heads up to everybody. I'll probably remind you again at the end, but I will not be streaming tomorrow. I will be at the Google I/O Extension Conference in Pittsburgh. So if anybody's around the Pittsburgh area and will be there, let me let me know. Let's see. Otherwise, let me switch over so you can see the screen. We'll get started. I'm going to start my Pomodoro clock. I'll just explain to you very quickly what we're trying to accomplish, and then we'll get to it. If you all have any ideas on how to make this happen, please let me know. But I'll say what we're going to do, then I'll explain to you what my idea is, and then we'll get to coding. So this page, this faculty page, the URL is education/faculty. So when we have /education as the URL, that takes us to it displays what's under the post type of majors. But on this particular page, we don't want to hard code this list. What we want to do, since we already have a post type for faculty members, and you can see, well, you can't see, it's too small, but when you go to a faculty member page, the URL is /faculty/ and then the faculty member's name. So totally different post type, but we have the category of the program. So what we should be able to do is say something like, if you go to this page, to a faculty page within a certain program, a certain major, then also grab the data from the faculty post type, but only those pieces of data that have the category that matches the program here from the URL, in this case education. So it'll be a little bit different than what we're used to, and we'll definitely have to we'll have to iterate over that data. So we're going to map over that data. So first steps first is let's get a route into the router so we have something to look at on a page, and then we'll get to the rest of it. Okay, so here's our router, and let's make sure we have the English route. Let's just, alright, cool. So we do have English. So if we have English/classes, it goes to here. We have senior thesis, senior portfolio. So let's go here and add faculty as a route. And if we're going to add faculty, then we'll pass in the slug, or I'm sorry, we'll pass in the ID. maybe here, if the route is faculty, we'll pass in maybe English. Let's try this. So if we have the route of faculty, we'll pass in English. But here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to add in some extra stuff here, and I'm going to see if our router can handle that. So let me type it out, and then I'll go back and explain what I'm doing. Default type is going to be equity list. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to save that. I don't think it'll work right away. We're going to have to do some more work on our router, but here's what I've done, and here's what I hope will happen at some point. Hey everyone, I see a few of you saying hi in the chat. So welcome. Hey Anna, John, Matthew, and Harshit. Oh, Harshit, that's great. Harshit and I have been working on a side project, as well as Niki's been working on it in JavaScript. I should say I've been doing not that much work at all. Harshit and the others have been doing all the work. But just wanted to say hi, and that's actually going to come out today, the beta version. So maybe Harshit could let you know the URL in the chat if it's ready soon. All right, so here's what I think is going to happen. What I hope will happen is, so we have, when someone goes to the route English, what will happen is, by default, we'll do the same thing as we normally do, is that we're going to go to the page, the component of major, and the default post type to get the data from is going to be majors. And then the ID, which is that last part of the URL, by default will just be English to display the home page for the English department. But then depending on what goes in here, it may display something else. But if we get faculty instead of anything else as that last part of the URL, I wanted to display a component that we're going to create called faculty list. And I wanted to use the post type faculty, because that's where we're going to get the data from. Then I wanted to pass in as an ID to GraphQL English, so that we can use that to grab the category English and have those particular post types show up. So there are a few things that might need to change. I don't know if we can select categories by slug, or we need to use an ID. Not 100% sure, so you might have to switch this to the ID number for English. Also, I don't know if we've built this functionality into the router yet to handle all of this. I know it works for the IDs, but I don't know if it works for pages and types. So first things first, I guess we'll just navigate to it and see what kind of errors we get. So first, let's make sure I didn't mess up the normal routes. So we're going to go straight to English and see if anything happens. Okay, I did not mess up these routes, which is awesome. And I want to make sure, let's see, English classes. Let's see if this route works. Tell you the truth, I'm not sure if this route ever worked, because I don't know if I set up the data for it. I'm guessing it's not going to work because nothing's happening. Alright, let's look at another route. See if we can try something on senior thesis, senior portfolio. Alright, enough with that. Let's just go to the faculty, see if we're going to get an error. I just want to see what the error is. Did I mess this up a lot? I'm just going to restart that server. Actually, I don't know if I ever did a git pull to start things out. No. Alright. Let's just stash these for now. Yeah, always start out your day with the git pull. So otherwise you'll have weird stuff happen. So how do I unstash something? Now I'm gonna have to look this up. If anybody knows how to unstash what I just stashed offhand, let me know in the live chat now. Otherwise I'm gonna look it up. You just get stash pop or one stash changes. Okay. Sweet. All right, get stash pop. So I did look it up, but I see Vishal, you put that in the chat. You probably would have had it in faster if it wasn't for the delay in the stream itself. So thank you. Thank you for that. I had never needed to unstash anything before. That's crazy. I've been doing this for years. I've never actually had to unstash something. That's one of the cool things I think about doing this kind of work. You learn new stuff constantly. Okay, and I'm not sure if there are any questions yet in the chat, but just to let you know, in case this is your first time watching, I will get to the questions in the chat. I'm just going to do a bit of code first, and then I'll get to the chat later on. So if you can just hang in there for a little bit, your question will get answered. Hopefully I can answer it. Alright, so now that we have the changes in here where they should be, let's go back over here and see. This site cannot be reached. Oh, because I restarted it. Let's see if we can get this to load enough to give us some sort of error message. Otherwise, I guess we can just start making our component. You know, I should be able to go down to the routing function and just see if this would even work. So let's... Yeah, let me just stop that for now. Let's go down to our routing function and walk through step by step what will happen if we give the routing function this data. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open, close the right. Wait, is this? I may already have this open in both places. No. Maybe I don't. Keep open. I just want to open it up in two places. That's all I want to do. So I want you all to be able to see what we have at the top versus what we have at the bottom of this page. Let's see if it'll let me. All right, cool. So now we have the same file open in both sides. Let's shrink this down. We don't need it. And what I'd like to do is I'm going to leave this here so we can see exactly what data we're passing into our routing function. And we're going to scroll down here to the routing function and step through what will happen with this data. And that way, even though we're not getting an error message to help us, we should be able to catch the errors and adjust the routing function like that. So I'm going to do my best to try to explain this as I go along. If you'd like to look at this on your own computer, check out the link to the repository. It's in the description to this video or on the server.js file on the master branch. Okay, so here's what happens when the browser would navigate to that /English/faculty route. So it's going to look at this first one is going to be /English. The second will be faculty. We will have no third. All right. So that first param English, second param faculty. All right, let's continue on. All right, all this we don't need to worry about. So the type is going to be first param, let page equal page, type first param pages. Wait a second. Okay, so this is not really going to be an issue because we're telling it what the type is. So this is like kind of a default backup if we don't say that. So we can keep on going through here. So if the length of the params are 1, it's going to do this. We can skip that because we have 2, right? English and faculty. So let's go all the way down to here, and we're going to go to this else if. All right, and this is what we want, where there's 2 parts to the URL. Okay, so we're logging these defaults. So if I didn't include the page and the type, by default it would just go to the component called page and render that component, and then it would use the post type, which is whatever the first param is. In this case it would be English, so it would say English pages. That post type doesn't exist, but it doesn't matter. That's why we're explicitly saying what the post type is that we want here. So we're going to look now if the first parameter is found in our translation object. So our translation object is this huge object. We can't even see all of it, but we would find the first parameter here, English. Okay, so then if English.page exists, which it does, we're going to go in here and let's see, if this equals an object, which it does, then we're going to say page equals translation object first param page standard. Okay, we need to change it. So this is where the error is going to occur. We don't have standard. Okay, so what would normally happen is we would put default as one key and then standard as the other key, and then we would tell it, but that's not going to work for us because if I were to type in English/senior thesis, that won't work for what we're trying to do here with our faculty or faculty list component here. So we need to adjust this to check to see if standard is there. Else first param equals type. So what will then happen? Oops, down here. Page equals translation first param page. So the else here is if it's not an object. So what needs to happen is if it is an object, we're going to look to standard would then have to be the fallback, default. Yeah, I'm going to adjust this function in a way so that we can use custom values for page, but if there isn't a custom value that matches, then we'll use standard. Okay. All right, so that's what we'll do then. So in this case, we're passing in, let's see what page type. Okay, so ID. So here's what we need to do. So we're going to say if translation object param page dot pay, let me think. So if this exists, right, if translation object first param dot page and then ID, which would be the second parameter, which in this case is faculty, if that exists as a key in this object, which it does in this case, then we're going to want to set page equal to this translation object first param page ID. Okay, so which in this case page would get set to faculty list, which is what we want. We're going to add an else in here, and let's move this up a line just to clean it up. So it'll try to find that ID. If for some reason this ID isn't explicitly set here, it will try to fall back and use standard. Let me think if that'll be enough. No, that won't be enough. It won't be enough. Okay, so we don't want... We need another fallback. We need another fallback. This is getting a mess, but we need another if statement here because we're not actually going to add a standard in. So what happens if somebody puts in /English/senior thesis? It's going to go through, it's going to get to this point, it's going to say, okay, that ID doesn't exist, so let's just use page.standard. Well, page.standard doesn't exist either, but we're not checking for that. We're just assuming it exists. So that's going to give us an error. So what we need to do first is check to see if this exists. And that needs to be an else. If so else if this then our page can be set to standard, and then we'll need to add one more else. Else we're just going to go for the default. So page is just going to equal our default. Oh, okay, let's save that. Let me check my time. Okay, about 2 minutes. That's not bad, because then that'll give me some time to answer questions in case anyone's confused. And then the next step will be, which we probably won't get through the next step, so I'm just going to tell you what it's going to be. we need to find the type. So first thing that's going to happen, if the type exists as a parameter, which it does, and if it is the object, which it is, then we're going to go for this standard, right? Our standard does not exist. So basically what we're going to have to do right now is the same thing we did up here, and we're just going to replace type. We're going to replace page with type. So we can copy and paste this. So let's go with from here down to here. And so copy, you should be able to do this, right? Okay. And then in here, oops, yeah, let's replace every instance of page with type. With TYPE. Find type. Okay, and then with ID, okay, I think ID will actually work. So my timer's up, but we may be at a point where we could at least get an error. Hey, yes, we got some type of error. Let's see if we got more info. No, let's see if we have more info here. Nothing. No. One more refresh. 404. Okay, we'll come back to this. And I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to set a 5-minute timer now, answer some questions, and then we'll do another 25-minute Pomodoro session. Okay. All right, trying to find a lot of hellos. I'm trying to find a question here. I'm scrolling down. I'm almost to the bottom, and there are no questions yet. All just hellos and you all talking to each other, which I think is awesome. Here we go. John Hansen says, would async promises work cleaner than all of those if statements? Yeah, honestly, there's got to be a better way to do this. I know when we first did this, and I believe it was Niki that did a lot of the original work, it was a much smaller function. I've added a lot more to this as I came across different parts of the site, the old site, that I needed to bring over and make sure the URLs worked. So what we originally thought would work didn't work for every use case. So we just kind of added this stuff on. I'm definitely open to refactoring. At this point, if this is working the way we're doing it, I got to go with it for now because we're going to launch in less than a month. So I just don't think I have enough time to refactor this and make it work and make sure it works in all our use cases. But I think it's a worthwhile thing to do at some point. because this is getting quite large. There are a ton of nested if statements. So at the very least, it's just a mess to read and think through. I mean, I'm able to think through it right now, but I've seen it a lot. So yeah, it's not ideal. Nikki says, yeah, I feel shame when I see that code. It made sense at the time, but boy, does that look messy. Well, Nikki, it's not your fault. Like I just said, like a lot of the mess is things that I've had to add in. So I think the original, when I saw the original function, Nikki, my immediate thought was Nikki is a genius. Like, this is amazing, this works. But then as I dug through the data on the site and the content, I realized like, oh, this won't work for everything. Which it's not your fault at all. Based on the information I gave you, it worked perfectly. But I just didn't have complete information at that time. Michael was volunteered to make the refactoring changes, and he says, I would, but I think Jesse wants the site to work. Hey, if anybody wants to tackle refactoring, feel free to fork the repo, make a branch, and try it out. You know, it won't break the main site, you know, of course. And if I were to try to redo this, I would most definitely do it on a separate branch. I'm not even going to attempt to untangle this massive if statements on the master branch here. Oh, cool. Phoenix is here. It says, sorry, late. Was doing my 30 days, 30 sites challenge submission. That's awesome. So you're still keeping up with that. That's amazing. Doing 30 sites in 30 days. So I just think that's awesome. So keep me up to date on the stuff you're putting out there. I'd love to check it out. Matthew says, thanks for doing these live streams, Jesse. Learn a lot from watching your workflow. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for saying that. Hey, Frankie's here. Nice to see you here, Frankie. All right, I think my timer is beeping. Yep. Let's start another Pomodoro session, and let's get this to work. Okay. Let's look at where we potentially could have some problems. One is that this faculty list thing, it doesn't exist. So let's make this. And then we'll go from there. The best thing would probably be to clone an existing component and then adapt it. I think we can get things done more quickly like that. So I was hoping I'd have a good one already open, but I don't. All right, so let's just go in here to our pages and oops, that was CSS. I just stopped because it had the right names. There we are. So the faculty.js component is probably going to be the closest to what we're actually going to use. No. Will it? Yeah, you know what? It might. Okay, and it is using the new way to do it. All right, let's grab this. We're going to copy this. We're going to make a new page called, what was it? I don't remember what we called the new page. Faculty list. All right, new page. All right, faculty list.js. Let's change what we need to. Oops, let's go faculty list. Go down here, faculty list, and we're going to pass the ID. We're going to have to make a separate query for this because it's going to be a little different than what we normally have. Let me think. Yeah. But at least we can save that. Let's just refresh, see if we get anything different. Not expecting it, but oh, nice. We got an error message. Happy about that. All right, cool. So this is great news. It may not look like great news, but this is really great news. So if you can see, let's see if it'll let me zoom in. So check that out. So it says cannot read property node of undefined, and it's giving us this error from facilitylist.js line 34. That means that our router worked and it directed the user, directed the flow of our data, I guess, to that faculty list component. Not only that, but it seems that something came through for ID, and we're getting, because it's actually like attempting to make that that GraphQL query, right? So that error tells us that I think we did what we were supposed to do. Now what we need to do is adjust our query to get the data that we need from this. All right, so here's what we need. The type is correct. We can leave it as is because it's going to go to the faculty post type. The ID needs to change though. So what query are we using? We're using profile query. Yeah, we need a different one. We need, I guess we'll make a faculty list query. Let's check out our queries. I'm going to just see if there's one that would work. Department directories, news. I don't know that we've used any queries yet that return exactly what we need. So let's just look first at this profile. Where's our there we go, profile. Okay, let's move it over here so we can look at both at the same time. All right, so what we're searching for now is, so our type is here, and that's fine. That doesn't need to change. But where we're saying name, we're looking for name. So that's that ID. And the name ends up being our slug, our WordPress slug. But we don't care about that. What we want is, we want to search by category, by faculty departments. I wonder, hold on. I don't want to do it to this one. I don't think that's going to work. I'm just kind of trying it now, because if it does end up working, it'll save us a ton of time. I don't really have hopes for that. I think we're going to have to look up exactly how to do this with WP GraphQL, which is the plugin that we're using. I need to make a new query, and we'll call this faculty list. Okay. So let's just refresh the page, see what we're getting. No. We could use, where am I? Where do I have it? Alright, let's see. I changed this to Is that not it? What's my WordPress URL? wp.franciscan.university. Yeah, that's it. Alright, let's try to bring our query over. Alright, we don't actually need all that. Let's go from here. Alright, the type is going to be faculty. Okay. Alright, let's just start from hold on, faculty. Yeah, let's look. Let me look over at the live chat just see if anybody is giving any suggestions. Okay. The suggestions. Let's GraphQL. Let's just look up the documentation. We moved here, we still be fine. Okay. ID. I'm not getting exactly the same thing. So what I want to see is, in this case, I guess we can do, what are we doing? Education. Wait, can I pass this as a string? Sorry. I thought that's what it just said I could do, right? Query, name of friends, episode. Okay, I need to put the variable in there. Alright, that makes sense. Where am I at? Category. Alright, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's take this out. I don't need that. Faculty where I don't want it to be named though. Faculty departments. Departments ID equals, what is this? I don't need this right now, right? Maybe I do need that. But what's wrong with this? Alright. Hold on. I'm gonna check the chat again. Alright, Michael says, shouldn't ID be faculty department ID? ID is the GraphQL ID. I'm not sure, to tell you the truth, and I don't know why I'm not getting like what I should be able to get some schema stuff about. There we go. Let me see. Faculty. Alright, let me see if there's any more data on this part of it. List of posts with author info, list of users. Advanced, there's nothing for advanced queries. No. Advanced topics. All right. Alright, let me look. Michael says underneath faculty departments. Okay, let me look back here. Yeah, so under faculty departments. Oh, you know what? You're right. If I was gonna do it like that, I would need to put. Let me go back here. Faculty departments. I don't need name like that. I need faculty departments, edges, node, name. Let's see if I can get anything from that. No. Alright, let me just copy this over so I think I've thoroughly messed up what I was trying to do over here. Actually, let me just do what just happened? Alright, forget that. Okay, it does not like that. What were we working with originally? Name. Michael says, why don't you try hard coding the variable into the query? Yeah, actually, let me. All right, so we are actually getting some stuff in here. Let's try this first. There we go. Right. Maybe we could use category name, but it's custom taxonomy. All right, I mean, let's try it. Category name is gonna be education. Double. Oh, I gotta use double quotes. Okay. Name variable never used. Yep. Do I need this? What is this? Man, it's been so long since I made GraphQL queries. I don't remember the right syntax for this. Do I even need this? There we go. All right, let's see. Okay. So return nothing. I don't think I can do. Unknown field. I can do a search, but I have a feeling the word education is going to be in all of these. All right. My timer went off, so let me take a little break. Oops, a short break, and answer some questions. I have one more idea. So it looks like Harshit asks, have you found any bugs or need some feature on PomPom? I just never looked at it in 6 months. No, I mean it's working great, so I don't know what I would need. Yeah, the only thing I would say on there is the beeping. The beeping can get a little annoying. Like it's just a long amount of beeping. It's good because I never miss the beep, but if I like hear the beep right away and I'm like, okay, it's beeping, and it just keeps beeping and beeping and beeping. So I don't know, maybe like a warning beep and then some silence and then the ending beep instead of like constant beeps. Other than that, though, I really like it. And in case you're wondering, PomPom is this Pomodoro timer that Harshit built that. So it's really cool. Okay. Oh, my Spotify quit playing. Okay. Some comments got hidden, so I just unhid a few comments. So if your comment got hidden before, it's up now. Phoenix says, just wanted to ask, when looking for a remote job, what documents are mandatory to be submitted? Like if I work remotely for a company in the U.S., what documents do I need? You know what? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know what's required. Like if you were to actually come here and work in the United States, that would require documentation. I don't really know if you're doing remote work. I don't know. Because I guess it depends too, like if you're going to be a full-time remote employee for a company, there's probably going to be some tax documents and things that need to be set up. If you're like a freelancer doing remote work for a company, then that probably is a little bit easier. All right, Michael has put in a query. Let's try this. I'm gonna copy and paste this, and we're gonna try it. This is cool. This is like a totally reverse way of doing it. But if it works, this is gonna be awesome. I just wouldn't have thought of that at all. No. Okay. Let's try to, it's missing the last curlies. Yeah, I was just to say, let's try to, separate this out so we get what we need here. So, query. Edges, node, name. Oops, let me start up another Pomodoro timer. Faculty, So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoa. Michael. Ah, Michael, thank you so much. I'm so happy. This is awesome. Let me enjoy it for a second, and then I'll try to explain what's going on. This is really cool. So cool. Alright. So, Michael has figured this out. And here's what's happening. Instead of searching for faculty and then trying to somehow sort by faculty departments, there was no option to do that. It wasn't letting me do this. So Michael has the idea like, okay, why not try to find faculty departments where the name equals education, which makes complete sense. That we should be able to find those. And then faculty, you can get back to the faculty through that, which I never even thought was possible. That's amazing. Amazing. That's awesome. So let's make sure. Okay, yeah. So all we need then is the name and the title, and I guess the slug. We need the slug to be able to construct the URL. So what are we getting now? So title, slug. Shoot, how are we gonna get this? We don't have that yet. So when we brought the data over, that was contained in the content as one big block. So that data is not going to be available until we can make a custom field and put it in the custom field, which is something I was planning on doing anyway. That may be something that needs to get done sooner than I anticipated. Okay. Alright, but this works. So let's take this, move it over here. Yeah. Let's see. You know what? Am I even going to pass the type in? I really don't need to pass the type in. We're not going to reuse this query. At least not now. Not right now. So I think we're fine. I just hope it doesn't give us an error because we're bringing in type and not using it. And let's change this name. Faculty list query. Let's save that. Let's go over here and we're going to use oh, you know what? No wonder none of my tests earlier worked. I never connected this to the component. So, I mean, not that they would have worked anyway because I didn't get it right, but I really didn't get it right. So this query is called faculty list, and this is actually, let's find this elsewhere. Faculty list query. Let's save it. Alright, now let's see what we're getting. There we go. Alright, can't read edges of undefined. So this makes sense because we're going to need to redo all of this, how we're getting this data. So we don't need all this kind of stuff here. Content data. Oh, we can leave it for now. We don't really need it. So we don't want content. What we want then in the div, we want to map over. You know what? If we take our search page, we should be able to copy and paste some things that'll be helpful to us. So let's check out our search page. Whoops. Search.js. Because we're getting data here that's... you know what? We weren't using GraphQL for this. So it may not be as helpful as I thought. Yeah, it won't be. Shoot. Okay. That's alright. We can see what data we're getting from here. So the data will be in this format. So we can just use this to figure out how we're going to do things. Oh, Nikki reminded me, delete that global X. Yeah. Where's that at? There we go. Alright, so we're not even getting content really. So yeah, let's get rid of this. We don't want content. What we want is node. What are we getting? Faculty. Node faculty edges. Alright, so we're gonna say, we're gonna call this faculty data, and then down here let's just start with what we're gonna do here. So we're gonna say we're gonna have a container div, and then within that, let's map go faculty data dot map, and I'm gonna say data. Oops, let's say faculty. Oops. And then within here, let's just for right now do an H3, and we'll put in, what's it called? Title? Yeah, let's just put in title. H3 is going to be faculty.title. Okay, and then here, am I gonna have any problems with this? I don't think I'll need to set this dangerously set inner HTML for the title. I think we should be fine. What is all this? Oh, indentation. All right, fine. And what is this? Key prop. Okay. Key is going to equal faculty slug, because that'll be unique. Now let's try this. Faculty list. We're going to map over. Let's see what we get here. No. What happened? Edges. Can I read edges? Oh, did I mess it up and not account for the edges in the faculty? No, I didn't. Oh, I didn't account for node though. So we got node, faculty edges, and then node again. Let's see. This data. Oh, I know. So it needs to be. Our query is putting in the type faculty list or something. Yeah, what do we have going on here? We're passing in faculty. That's not what we want. We want data faculty departments. Faculty departments. Let's try that. I'm getting a bunch of messages on my phone. Let me check to make sure it's not work. Oh, harsh it. Harshit's sending me messages on Twitter at the same time. Okay. Let's see what we have now. Oh, nice. We didn't get an error right away. Each shot I should be key prop. Another method of query. Oh, I know what else I messed up. Faculty. Hey, there we are. Awesome. Why are we still needing this iterator thing? I thought we had a key prop. Key. Yeah, the H3 has a key. Why? Alright. I'm not worried about that right now. I'll figure that out. But, alright, cool. So, we got the data displayed on the page. Still need... We need to do work on the data itself in WordPress to get the data that we need. So like you notice we don't have a picture, we don't have the title, we don't have a link. We can actually make the link to their page. We have enough data for that. But those are things that are going to be really boring that need to happen in WordPress, and it's just going to be a lot of, I create the custom fields and then a lot of copy and paste work. Hopefully I can maybe get a student worker to do that, so that I can keep working on other things, but actually not too bad. This is mission accomplished thanks to Michael. So thank you again. I'm gonna end this. I have 10 minutes left in this Pomodoro session, but I'm just gonna end it and go to the chat now. And let me look. All right. So I found where I left off in the chat. If you have any questions, please let me know now. And as soon as I get to the bottom of the chat, I'm going to end the stream. Oh, yeah, I got a meeting soon, so definitely going to end the stream soon. And Harshit, I got your messages on Twitter. I'm not sure if you also sent a message in the chat, but I'm giving you access right now on my other screen. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why. I made you an admin, so I don't know why, but I'll I guess I'll make you project owner as well. Okay, so now you should have full access to the project. Since you're the project owner, just don't run up a bill on my credit card though. And other than that, you're good to do whatever. Oh, Hershey says use Prettify button in the GraphQL thing. Oh yeah, so that would have saved me a minute. Wish I would have looked over. Thanks, Harshit. So I manually put all those breaks in. Oh well. Glad I learned it now though. You gotta close out of that. Michael's saying you gotta close out of their div. Alright, what did I mess up with div? Alright, I must have closed it then. I don't know what I was doing. And Michael said Michael has got a scholarship for a nano degree for Udacity. Michael, you may have already told me this, but just in case I haven't done so already, congratulations. I'd like to congratulate you for that. Okay, for the mobile web specialist. Cool. Alright, Rohan Verma says, I already did the machine learning nano degree, the basic and advanced 6-month-long course. Oh, awesome. Congratulations. Rohan, how was that course? If you had to give advice on whether the course was worth it for someone to take, what would you say? Oh, Harshit asked if I'm going to run a WordPress cluster in production or will add more power to the droplet. What I'd like to do is maybe run a cluster. If I don't have time, I will just add more power to the droplet. I've been looking into actually taking the database and hosting that like on AWS or Google or something on one of their managed database services. To just kind of take that, they'll handle backups and scaling and things like that, and I won't have to worry about it. And then still, I would have to host WordPress on a droplet or something. So that's my plan. And in which case, if I do that, I still want it to. I would like it to be on multiple droplets because there is going to be a lot of traffic. Rohan says, is NodeJS suitable for HPC? I don't know what HPC is. If you could let me know what that stands for, maybe I can answer. Michael says, Jesse had an issue on what info you need so I can take a look. You know what, Michael? It's not, the info isn't even there. So that's the problem, is that we can't get it from GraphQL because it doesn't exist. So the data needs to be entered into WordPress first. Like even the fields itself don't even exist. Oh, okay. Harshit has done what he needed to do, and he doesn't need to be project owner anymore. So I'll drop you back down. Harsha, just let me know if you need it again. It's not really a big deal. I trust you. All right, Rohan says, I would say machine learning nano degree program for Udacity is awesome for those who are migrating from some other field to machine learning. But a course from Coursera, deep learning AI specialization is better than Udacity. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Because I've considered doing the Udacity course, but it's definitely not. It doesn't have anything to do with what I'm working with right now. So it probably wouldn't help me that much in my day-to-day work. It would be a big commitment of money and time. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll check out that other course and see if that's would be less of a time commitment. See how it's set up. Okay, Rohan says high performance computing is what he's talking about with HPC. To tell you the truth, I don't really know. I don't have enough knowledge about that to say one way or another. So apologies on that. If anybody else has better insight than I do into that, please let Rohan know in the chat. And you know what, I got a meeting coming up soon, and I've gone through everything in the chat. So tomorrow I will not be streaming. I will be at the Google I/O Extension conference in Pittsburgh. So please let me know if you're going to be in Pittsburgh, especially if you're going to be at the conference. I'd love to be able to say hello in real life. And also, please check out JSAF. So that's a website that I've been working on with a few other, with Harshit, with Niki, with JavaScripter, who's in there sometimes in the live chat. And it's just a place where you can share your GitHub repos, share a little bit of info with that. It can help you search for other people's repos, I think, in potentially a better way than you can on GitHub. Totally built with a lot of the technologies that we've been working with here. It's open source. You can check out the project on GitHub and contribute, but definitely check it out. Harshit, let me see. I don't know if it's down or up now. Harshit's working on it, but maybe I'm going to paste the link in here. I pasted the link in there now. You may have to copy and paste it. Sometimes links are weird in the YouTube chat. Are we using the beta.javascript.af, or are we using just straight up javascript.af, Harshit? All right, it looks like, all right, yeah, JavaScript AF redirects anyway. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so you don't have to add in the beta. It redirects if you just use JavaScript.af. But anyway, please check it out. If you find some weird stuff going on, or if you have ideas for it, open up an issue on GitHub and let us know. Like I said, we'd love to have a lot of ideas and contributors. We think this could be a cool resource for the community, and we're not, we don't have funding. We're just doing this as a side project right now. We haven't been getting paid. Harsh's just been doing a ton of work. I've been paying for domain and servers and everything. So yeah, so any help that you could give would be awesome. And I don't mean like just financially. I mean like in terms of your ideas, advice, pull requests, things like that. So anyway, I'll probably be streaming on Wednesday, and I'm going to try to maybe do some updates on Instagram from the Google I/O conference. I don't know if I'll be able to get any updates on YouTube, but if I do, they won't be on the Free Code Camp channel. They'll be on my own YouTube channel. So the link to my YouTube channel is in the description. You can also, I think, find a link to my Instagram on my YouTube channel. So if I happen to be able to do any updates on YouTube or Instagram, if you follow me or subscribe, then you'll probably get notified. Let's see. I think that's it. So I'll see y'all Wednesday. Have a great day today and tomorrow. And let's see. Sorry, I couldn't find the button to leave. So tried to do my usual outro and then I couldn't find the button. I was on the wrong page. All right. Anyway, thank you all so much, and I'll see you on Wednesday.